Right now is the time for open houses. You should be expecting now to be a boom in open houses. So my name is Alan Richards. I'm the managing broker here at Maxwell and Realtor Partners. And today I want to talk about how important it is that we are exploring and utilizing open houses. Open houses, I mean, there's nothing really new about open houses, right? They've been kind of the same thing. Now we do see a big change in the way that agents go about looking at open houses and considering and working open houses. Because if you work an open house from the point of view of I'm just here to hush up a noisy seller or for an overpriced property, those tend to be pretty lame open houses. When you do open houses the right way, they can be a very good motivator for both getting your listing out there, but also really for like ramping up and building a ton of engagement and some great opportunities to build relationships with potential buyers. Now, the reason why I say that now is such a good time to be doing open houses is because of like what's been happening in our marketplace over the last year or so. It's really kind of affecting like these changes, in particular the changes that came from the NAR lawsuit are really starting to kind of shape the way that some of our buyers are going about buying homes right now. Now, we know that right now is a challenging time for our buyers, especially our first time buyers, right? We still have prices are holding really, really steady. Interest rates are not where we want them to be. So, what we have is a situation where we have a lot of buyers. We're moving into the spring buying season right now. And not that that's here, there, or anything different, but it is where we're at right now. So, we're seeing where a lot of buyers are jumping into the market right now. Now, the reason why I'm saying now is such a good time to be holding open houses is because one of the things that happened as part of the National Association of Realtors, lawsuit was that we came out with a bunch of new rules and clarity, and just trying to make sure that everything's done on the up and up and those kind of things. And I'm really happy about those. Now, one of the things that came from that is that we now must have a signed buyer brokerage agreement prior to showing any property. So before we actually will show a property, we have to explain to the buyer, the whole 9 yards. These are the services we provide. These are the fees that we charge, and we have to do that right up front. And really smart agents are taking that and they're actually building a great business with that because they've learned that we have to start treating our buyers the way that we have sellers for years. Like used to be, if you were going to show a listing, or if you were going to go on a listing appointment rather, you would prepare for that listing, and you would do a comparative market analysis. You would have a seller's presentation together. You would have your signed listing agreement forms all the way up and put together. You would go and you would meet the sellers. You would hopefully build a bond, a relationship. You would talk about, this is all, this is my marketing plan. These are all the things I'm going to do to sell your home for the most money in the shortest amount of time possible. These are all the services I provide. These are the fees that I charge. This is what I recommend that we set the pricing around. All these things are going to happen, and then you're going to get a listing agreement signed. Now, in contrast, in the past, the way we treated buyers was meet you at 2, right? See you later. And that really wasn't preparing any of our buyers for really being able to properly engage inside the marketplace, understanding what the process was, understanding the services that we provide. And so, on one hand, I am very, very glad that we have buyer brokerage agreements that we are getting done in advance, because smart agents have learned that we're going to start making appointments with our buyers ahead of time, and we're going to sit down, we're going to explain the entire buying process to them. This is everything that it takes in order to go through. We're going to talk about financing. We're going to talk about how do you find the homes. We're going to talk about how we're going to set them up on searches and how we're going to be there through the whole process. These are all the services I provide. These are the fees that I charge. And then we're going to get a buyer brokerage signed. And then at that point, we're going to go start looking at homes. Well, that's how it's supposed to be. And that's how I hope that you are operating your real estate business. Unfortunately, we still have a lot of folks that aren't necessarily doing it the right way. We have folks that are just basically, using a buyer brokerage as like a door, as a barrier for somebody. We have folks that don't have any relationship with a real estate agent. and they call to say, hey, can I see this house? Can you show me the house over at 123 Smith Street? And unfortunately, we have a lot of agents that will say, well, if you'll sign this paper, I'll show you the house. And I just want you to know that's jacked up. It's a wrong way to do business. That's how you not how you should be doing business at all, right? So you should be leading with the appointment for sure. And we can do a 1 day buyer brokerage agreement, a single property buyer brokerage agreement, and so we have the opportunity to do these kind of things, but we should not be trying to force somebody into an agreement with us that is only benefiting us. There has to be value for our buyers there. Now, the reason I'm explaining all this is because what it really comes down to is we're seeing where a lot of buyers now are intentionally looking out for open houses. We're seeing where the attendance at open houses is jumping up. We're seeing where opportunities to build relationships at open houses is really, really high. And so what I want to encourage you is to start looking at open houses, but don't look at it as something that where you're going to shush noisy, oh my goodness, I can't speak, a noisy seller. This is an opportunity for you to build a lot more relationships. Yes, we may even be able to sell the home to them, but also we can build a lot of relationships, right? And so for those open houses, right, a couple of things that I really want to encourage you to be smart about and wise about. So first of all, decide when you're going to hold it. Most are going to be on the weekends, but you don't ever want to do it at the same time as like a Georgia game or something like that. That's going to really contrast or fight against it. So decide when it is. Schedule it ahead of time. Make sure you put that into the MLS so that it shows up as being in there. Then you want to promote and market that open house everywhere. Eventbrite, Eventzilla, Facebook events, social media, all whole nine yards. You want that stuff going out everywhere. You also want to make sure that you're marketing this open house to everyone inside your sphere, inside your database. You want them to know that you're holding an open house and to come on by and that kind of stuff. Plus, it shows them that you're active in real estate. The other thing before your open house, you want to make sure that you're able to go in and research other listings in the area that are similar to your open house, right? Because a lot of times folks will come in these open houses and they'll be like, it's nice, it's just not what I'm looking for. Well, if you have a list of other homes, you might be able to possibly guide them along, right? So make sure you have that before you go into actually start the open house. And then on the day of the open house, show up early. Sometimes we've had to clean dishes in the sink, and sometimes you got to sweep some things up. Make sure the house looks tight and right. It's got to be set up and ready. All the counters have to be clean. Everything has to be neat, organized. It will make your open house a lot better. You also want to make sure that you put up signs. We find that 15 is like a great number to do. Between 12 and 15 is normally what we'll put up for most open houses. Now, some folks would be like, why on earth would you put up 15 signs? And it's because they work, right? We wouldn't put that much up if they didn't work. And so we put it up at every intersection because the amount of foot traffic that comes, especially on a nice Saturday or Sunday, man, you can have a lot of people that will come in and visit. And these folks are all interested in buying and selling real estate. Now, you want to make sure that for the open house, again, we can hold an open house for the benefit of the seller. Now, if you want to take that buyer to another property, well, you will have to have a buyer brokerage agreement signed. And again, you can do a short-term one in order to do that kind of stuff. But when folks come in, the first question is going to be, are you working with a realtor? Please sign in. The seller would like for you to sign into this property. But these are folks who are out trying to see what's happening in the real estate market, what's going on. They're also interested to meet you. Are you real? Are you sincere? Are you genuine? Are you somebody that I think I could get along with? Think of it that you are being interviewed when you're holding an open house, because a lot of the vast majority of buyers that come to open houses are unrepresented. They just don't know, like, or trust you yet. This is your chance to get known, to be liked, and be trusted. You need to be able to do that. So put on a big smile and put yourself out there and really look at utilizing open houses for the great opportunity that they are right now, because it can help you grow your business a lot.